welcome to Got the Fire.
We got the fire!
Got the Fire, where we talk to people that are doing cool things in Indianapolis, and cool, awesome things. And so, welcome to Mandy and Carly, who are obviously the founders of the iconic Just Pop In.
Thanks for having us.
Happy to be here.
A brand that celebrates happiness.
That's it.
It's
That's us.
baked right in there. And you all founded this company in 2003.
Correct. Yes.
How did you get started?
That is a great question. So we started with the idea of, well, no, we actually lived it. When we were little girls, our grandfather would pop popcorn on the stove with us as little kids. We would probably pop popcorn, 5 nights a week at Grandma and Grandpa's house. It meant so much to us. We were so close to them. Even when we left for college, we would come back home and pop popcorn with Grandpa. It was always the best feeling ever. But we both had graduated from college and we both worked for corporate companies, and we always created on the side. We always, we did interior painting and we did interior design, and we always did things in the arts. And we thought, once we leave our suits behind, how can we excel with starting our own company? What's it gonna be? And naturally, the idea of popping popcorn with Grandpa, celebrating the arts, celebrating happiness, and living our truth kind of came through and Just Pop In.
So, how much popcorn do y'all consume?
Oh, I am not proud. I consume so much popcorn. It's a daily. It's every single day. Yes.
And you were mentioning that you still make popcorn with your son a 3 times a week?
Absolutely. So yeah, we were talking at one point in time about any secret popcorn habits, and I'm just full, I'm full disclosure
Yeah.
about my love
Yeah.
of popcorn. But yeah, I'll come home from a day of work and my son and I will pop popcorn on the stove, and he likes things a little spicier, so I bring him seasonings here from the shop, and we love it. It's just it's an activity that is just such a blast to share.
You're passing on the legacy from
Passing
Grandpa.
on the stove popcorn legacy.
Yeah, and not to mention it's a little bit healthier than eating wheat bread.
True.
So it's let's keep the gluten out and consume popcorn together and share that. Now, what about if you're driving down the road, and you're on a road trip and you see a 7-Eleven over there? What happens?
Again, not proud. There's no pride with us. We just hop right in and grab every brand that we can and go to town.
You're fired up about the popcorn.
We are. We're fired up.
And you've built this brand with, a culture around it, with this packaging and all this stuff. What's at the center of it all? What's at the very center of it? Tell me more about that core value that you just talked about.
I love that. It's such a great question. We know where we come from and we know what we want to celebrate. We just celebrated our 15th year in business, and it was really fun to go through an exercise that we did. It was called the North Star. It was about a 4-week process where we really dove deep with this organization, really about who we are and why we are and what we are. And ultimately, at the end of the day, when we came up with the 2 words that describe Just Pop In, it was celebrate happiness. And we were like, yes, oh my gosh, that is it. That's amazing. But celebrating happiness encompasses a lot of things. Of course, we're a for-profit business. We love what we do, but we're also really proud that we can be involved in non-for-profits, and that is something that really was one of the pieces of our heartbeats when we started Just Pop In. Is we are major HIV/AIDS activists, and when we started Just Pop In, we knew that our public platform would allow us to be able to speak to that.
And how has that played into your love for the community? How did you pick the organizations, and who are some of the organizations that you're involved with?
Sure. One of our biggest ones is the Damien Center, the treatment center for HIV/AIDS here in Indianapolis. And so we had an uncle who passed when he was 46 in 2005, but he had lived and passed with complications due to HIV and AIDS since 1984. And so just being little girls, we were exposed to it, and we loved him with our every being. We weren't afraid of it. We were educated enough to know that we could love and touch him and nurture him, and everything would be okay. But I think because of that experience, we were able to know how living and loving without barriers, it's just core. It's a core in our life.
And that has, you could have really gone two ways with that. And you took the happier, the more light-filled way. I know coming from growing up in India, there's a lot of taboos. There's a lot of like different kinds of things that happen in India that you could go either way, and you took the high road. How has that played in that idea of being in the moment, of celebrating people, celebrating happiness? How has that affected you working with picking other brands and artisans to collaborate with in terms of like creating new flavors?
That's a great question. And I have to say, we're selective in who we partner with. I think it's necessary to coexist and co-brand with other companies that share the same philosophies, the same company cultures. Sun King is one that comes to mind. Their philanthropic efforts are just beautiful. We seem to find each other in very similar places. And from a non-for-profit philanthropic level, and then for our business level, they create craft beer, we create craft popcorn, and they were one of our first co-brands of using their Osiris in one of our recipes. And so when we co-brand and we label, it's a way that when they distribute, and so do we, that we're both recognized and we can celebrate each other's brands. And then likewise, when they make their popcorn Pilsner once a year, we pop hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds of popcorn for their popcorn to be, or for their beer to be mashed into their popcorn Pilsner. So it just kind of goes both ways. And then, like the Smoking Goose, they're another awesome organization, another small business here in Indianapolis that are recognized on a national and an international platform, again, because of their culture and they're awesome artisans. But we use their bacon in one of our products, and again, it's another resource and a way to celebrate and uplift our community.
Yeah, and what's it been like? I moved to Indianapolis by design. A lot of people are in Indianapolis because they never left. You came to Indianapolis as well. We're here by choice. How has Indianapolis as a choice been for Just Poppin' and for Carly and Mandy?
Well, for little Carly and little Mandy,
so cute.
it has been.
Cheers!
Cheers! Let's cheers to Indianapolis.
And to little Mandy and little Carly.
Carly.
We're
cheers.
so cute.
Mm-hmm. I think that I personally moved to Indianapolis because I was going to go to dental school and decided that was not going to be my path. But Indianapolis is just such a cool city. It's such a bright city. It's a vibrant city. It's a passionate city.
An accessible city.
An accessible city. Mm-hmm. And it's just cool. I mean, we have James Beard nominated chefs, award-winning chefs. We have jewelry makers that are just incredible. Everybody, there's a cross reference between the arts in Indianapolis, from the Indie Film Festival to we've had some co-brands with different designers who have assisted in our logos, but it's always the same. They just have their own little flair in it. Indianapolis is just amazing. I mean, the Indianapolis Museum of Art is such a staple to host different events with the Indie Film Festival, for example. We live in a really bitchin' city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And y'all are known, and what a great thing to be known for keeping it real, right? How does keeping it real, how has that played into the brand? I can see the direct tie to your childhood and your uncle and the strong emphasis on family. How does that continue, keeping it real?
Mm-hmm. I love that question. I think that I had moved here, after college, it was the very first time that Mandy and I had ever separated. She had gone to Australia and I went to Africa, and I moved to Chicago to be closer to my family. So moving here to Indianapolis, I moved here because my twin was here and I missed her terribly. I think that it is so innate and it is so necessary that we created this company from true love, the true love of a family, the true love of community, the love of philanthropic efforts.
The love of popcorn.
The love of popcorn, big
That kernel.
time, that kernel. But I just think that with who we are and our culture and what we expect out of our partnerships and what we expect out of our staff and what we expect out of the overall experience is that we really want people to celebrate happiness. It is so important. You know, we have our days. There are some times where some days are more challenging than others, and then you just have to get right back to the core and the culture of who you are and go, this is why we do this. This is awesome.
What would you say to people in the audience out there that are looking for some inspiration, needing some inspiration, and looking to you two strong women who are living this big, substantial, philanthropic, community-oriented dream? What would you say to them?
I would just say, be organic, do what you really love, and not what somebody is encouraging you to do. Do what is really in your bones. Don't be an open suggestion box to everything. It's easy to want to please everybody, especially when you're pleasers and you're in hospitality. It can cross the line of where do you not become yourself? Where are you taking everyone's ideas and trying to implement into your own, and it just doesn't work? It's not going to work. It has to come from your core, what you believe in and what you love, and you can do it.
So be true.
Be true.
Be true.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for what you do for Indianapolis and for our palates and for all the people going all over the country and world that are buying popcorn and taking it to other places. I'd like to leave everyone with this. Thank you for watching the show, and just remember that life is like
A box of popcorn. I was going to say that.
it's an imperfect ending, and I'm okay with it. Thank you.